Network Nation.
So that's probably the best time I've had in a Walmart in a long time. There was nobody in there.
Yeah, so you know the Harps is right there. So I wanted a soda, so we walked over there first, and
Right.
it was empty.
That's nice.
It's very nice, actually. I was trying to think. I was like, if we do get out, like, where do we want to go that we don't want a lot of people? And so I was calling around to a bunch of places, and most of them are still closed. And even like the outlet malls, they said only 12 of their 60 stores are open. So, not good.
So what does that do for your plans on Sunday?
Well, we were supposed to go to Hot Springs, but problem is Hot Springs is way worse with their snow because they're up more.
Oh,
Yeah, so we're not gonna go to Hot Springs, but I'm gonna try to get us to Little Rock because there's some fun stuff to do in, like, the city.
wow.
Yeah, I'm pivoting. Stella says it's fine, but, you know.
Computer, turn off Airboy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Miss Carpenter's here.
Hi, Miss Carpenter.
Hi, Miss Carpenter.
Welcome to the pre-show. This is
Welcome.
time and talk about bullshit
Woo.
and
Yeah,
fun.
according to them, I got class Monday, so and I got 3.
We're all
How
got snow problems. Some of us are worse than others.
Yeah, I can't get out at the moment. We are gonna make an attempt to get out later once the sun hits it for a little bit.
What's the street right outside your complex? Is it plowed?
German's fine because there's, like, no snow on it.
Yeah,
It's just
Keithley.
Oh, Keithley's not good. I just said it was all snowed up.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your parking lot.
No, my parking lot and Keithley is all snowed and iced up.
Man.
Yeah, so it's just if we can get on to German, then we're in good standing.
Yeah, but I don't think your car is gonna handle that ice and snow.
Well, once again, we're gonna make an attempt later. I saw there's, like, 1 or 2 people who were able to get out in our parking lot.
Well, yeah, but I mean they're rolling the dice, right?
Yeah, we're gonna roll the dice too, 'cause we've been trapped in the house for 2 days.
Well, you're adventurous.
I mean, we spent all day yesterday playing Minecraft, so not very adventurous.
Hey, yeah, we should have played Monopoly.
Yeah, I mean, I was on and I saw you on. It's just Stella's on a Minecraft kick, so we've been playing it.
The only problem is my roommate not up for any of that nonsense. She's a real distractor.
Y Well, I'm doing my best to entertain. My visitor is just like, as long as I get to hang out with you, and I'm like, "Okay, you're gonna get plenty of me then." 'Cause I can do that. Yeah, like, we're over here for brekkie right now, and they're watching a movie out there.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just telling you what's up.
Well, if you can make it to Walmart, it's going to be fantastic because there was probably 10 people in there.
Well, we don't need to go to Walmart. We've already stocked up on groceries. We're fine.
Oh, I mean, we have enough. What the problem is, my roommate wanted lasagna.
Mhm.
Went to the store and came home with no ingredients for lasagna.
Great. How'd that go?
It's just one of those things, right?
Yeah.
That's what we call the X factor.
I forget that it's Saturday. Yeah, we don't have much of S-Town leaving Wednesday.
Well, let's see. There were some people trying to sell their popcorn, which is annoying. I forgot it was Saturday, but
We got a new person, Anderson read that.
does that? I'm looking on my phone. That's very small. I think it's Gonws.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Um,
I can say Anderson.
how do you say that, Anderson?
Doing good. 6 inches of snow here, yep. Because Miss Carpenter's a little bit more north. That's, like, where we were gonna go.
I thought she was southeast.
Miss Carpenter, are you more north? Oh, we got Levi here.
Hi, Levi.
We got a lot of people ready to talk about garbage.
Gonwis. Anderson Gonwis. That's what I would say.
Gone with. I'm doing good here, Andrea. And we got snow up here. Yep. Everybody above us is hitting the snow pretty hard.
Well, we were right in the belt of snow.
Yeah. Well, I all I know is I got my school canceled for 2 days.
Maybe Monday.
According to them right now, they're saying Monday is gonna be clear for us to at least get to school. So,
Well, I got out a little bit this morning. Everybody around here got their street plowed except ours.
really? Okay. Miss Carpenter says Horseshoe Lake.
I don't know where Horseshoe Lake is, but I'm almost positive she is south and west of us.
Well, all I know is we got snow and hopefully the sun's gonna take it down a notch over here. Yeah, I tried to call it over to a few places that were on our list of fun things to do, and they're still closed, so everybody's kinda playing it safe.
Well, bummer. Anyways, it's 1 o'clock. So, hello, laser brain.
Rain.
We're here to talk about garbage, but we're here to talk about that second CD that was in that box set, and it's also on my playlist that I put out. I was just listening to it before the show just to refresh my brain.
I did it this morning just to refresh, and I think I got all my notes ready. And can I just give a general consensus? This is the B-sides, right?
I would think so, yeah.
Okay, do you want my general consensus?
No, because I could give you mine, and it would all the mystery would be gone. So, I mean,
Yeah,
why?
but I know that anyway. I usually give people a little taste of what I think of some of these songs.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't like a lot of them.
Wow,
Yeah.
it is too funny. I was sitting here listening and going, "There's only one here I would skip."
I was thinking there's only one here I'd listen to.
Wow, well then it's going to be spicy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're gonna have you like those slow, weird songs.
Do
You
I?
know what you know what I felt? I felt like a lot of them were undercooked.
Well, they're B sides.
Yeah, but they're, like, all, like, okay, at best.
Yeah, but that's what a B side is. It's B side is what didn't make the regular record.
But I still want it to be good, like, I wanna listen to it.
Well, but that's not the purpose of a B side.
Okay.
The purpose of the B side is to trick you into buying a single when you've already bought the whole album.
Well, I can say I don't like them.
You can, but
Yeah.
I don't judge them the same way I would judge an album track.
I don't either, but also at the same time, it's like, if I don't wanna listen to it, I don't wanna listen to it.
Well, fair enough.
You know
But
what I'm s
that's why we explore the B sides.
Yeah. Okay, do you have the music list? Because I do not, and I can't pull away on my phone.
I do
Okay.
because I've got my notes here.
Yeah, my notes are on a notepad, so I might have to, like, cut out for a second and then come back.
Uh-huh. Let's see. It looks like I didn't make a Mason Dixon line.
Are those the star things that you've been doing?
No, but when I do a whole album, then I'll clearly make a do not cross line so I know we're on to the next record. But I'm almost positive Candy Says is the first one on that.
I think Candy says you might be right
Okay.
about
Candy Says is a cover, and Lou Reed wrote it.
it is?
Yes, and it's about his transsexual friend.
Okay.
What did you think of Candy Says?
See, I gave it an average. I didn't know that was a cover at all. I
Yep.
just said, it's like there, and I would listen to this one. I wouldn't skip this one, but I wouldn't put it on a special album all by itself, like for the, "Oh, yeah," you know?
Miss Carpenter, I listened to Garbage next album. Does that
Ooh,
mean you listened to Bleed Like Me? Did I put that up?
I don't think you put that up yet.
Well, I've got to do that today. I'll tell
Is
you what
that
I'll tell you what I did. Just let's get off Garbage for 1 second.
Mhm.
You know how YouTube kind of throws shit out like
Mhm.
or whatever? So they threw out this chick I'd never heard of, Sarah Bernales.
Never heard of her.
Me either, but apparently she writes Broadway music and did the songs for Waitresses, I think.
I know that.
Okay, so she's sitting there in a piano and a little shiny suit, and she's doing a cover of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Love that song.
Then I listened to that. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was so good.
No, you might need to send that to me.
Well, don't worry. I've put it on the community.
Oh, look at you. All fancy over there.
Well, just because it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Then they played the next song of whatever that show was, and Rufus
Wainwright,
Wainwright.
I like him.
And they sing a ballad together.
Mm-hmm.
If you are watching that and you don't get watery eyes or a tear, you're dead inside.
I'm excited to hear that because I love that one Broadway waitress or waitresses. I think it's just waitress, but she's good.
Yeah, so I guess that the second song they do, "She Used to Be Mine," I think is what it's called. I think that's from that show.
Mm-hmm.
But you can test if you're dead inside or not by watching those two clips, especially the second one, because even though Rufus is dressed like a pirate,
Mm-hmm.
his voice has never been better.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go check that out, and I bet my two buddies in the other room would also love to hear that because they're also big fans.
Well, so I was watching it again, and my roommate came in.
Mm-hmm.
She stopped what she was doing and watched Yellow Brick Road, and then I put the other one on,
Mm-hmm.
and she started crying.
Oh, look at you! Brings a tear to my eye.
So I knew there was something going on with her. So I put that up on the community page. It's at a post. Both videos are there. You can watch it and find out if you are human or not.
Okay, I can get down. I want to go listen to that. I love Rufus Wainwright, and I love Yellow Brick Road, and I love all the things you're saying.
Yes, shockingly. Let's get back to Candy Says. So go ahead.
Well, that was my notes. I said it was okay.
Okay, so I like this song and I like their version of it. Usually, people who do Lou Reed covers are always better than Lou Reed.
Okay, I haven't heard the original song, so I can't say.
I don't think I have either, but he's just not. He's not my cup of tea. But he occasionally writes a pretty good song, apparently. So Shirley is singing this beautifully and with feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Then she goes into that do 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 ah.
Oh yeah, I did like that part. Yeah, like I said, this isn't a song I would skip. It definitely had its moments.
And when she's doing that, you sort of, it's that ethereal stuff where you're just kind of floating away.
Which is not normally my favorite, so I'm glad I at least kind of liked it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what I was saying last week. Shirley always finds a way, no matter how average the song is, to do something in there that makes it unskippable. And that's what I would say about Candy Says. That part is unskippable.
Yeah, I think you said this album is really good at doing that, or it shows that she does that a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on in her life at this time, but she gives it everything in every one of these songs, including these B-sides.
There are some songs in here where they filter her voice insanely, and I think
No,
you're gonna be a big fan of them.
I'm not, but if it goes with the song, I'll tolerate it. But like
Mm,
a couple weeks ago, that was not good.
yeah.
That which was not for
Yeah,
me. All right, so for me, Candy Says is a can't miss.
I think it's good.
And my only notes are best part is the end, and I've already told you why.
Yeah.
All right, Use Me. What did you think? Use Me.
Let me peek real quick at my notes.
All right. While you're doing that, I'll look up at the ceiling. Do, 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 do. Just a reminder, in the community page, I've got a whole track list of the songs we're talking about. And as soon as we're done here, I'll put up Bleak.
I'm here.
Okay. What are your notes?
I was taking a peek at my notes, and I said this song kind of reminded me of Persona 4 soundtrack.
Uh-huh.
Is this the one that utilized the electric piano kind of thing?
It's very Pet Shop Boys, that piano.
Yeah, well, because it reminded me of that game that uses that a lot. I actually said there was some soul to this song, which is something normally you say about it.
Huh?
Just, like, feel in the way she was singing it. These are the notes I made. The way she was singing it, I mean, I liked it. I feel like it was really good background music.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Under my notes, it's not that great,
Okay.
but the pianos are can't miss.
Yeah, I did really like the pianos.
So that's again, this is another one you cannot skip.
Ooh, Miss Carpenter did her homework.
Yeah, did you listen to both records and did you find something in there you didn't know you liked and we'll go back to? That's what I'm most interested in. Did you
Yeah.
but will you listen to it again? What's
Oh, yeah,
wrong
they're
with
saying
the last did I tell you I went and showed up at the beat show and he had insurmountable technical difficulties?
I was actually there when it happened. I was coming to visit.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's what happened and he never got it right as far as I know.
So he's, like, trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm glad you like the music, AC.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna really like next week's too. I was surprised. I hadn't heard it in a long time, and I was like, "Wow, there's some really good stuff on here too." But so anyway, hopefully, Beat is on later today. I think that's what he said, and hopefully, he's ironed out some of that stuff. And depending on my roommate, I may be able to be there and listen to some stuff.
Oh, Fawn was too busy for our playlist.
It's very hard to sit down and listen to new music. That is one of the hardest things.
25 new musics.
Right. But I mean, who has time to just sit there and whatever?
Mhm. Yeah, it definitely takes that's why we split it up, is because it's kinda hard to really get into everything in a certain amount of time, you know?
Right. But I was just thinking about this. We're doing this show, and the whole point of it is to expose people to music they wouldn't normally listen to.
Mhm.
But I was thinking the other day, but this is just like when people recommend TV shows and stuff to me.
Yeah, and I never wanna listen to it or watch it.
My list of things I've got to do, it just doesn't have time for a television show.
Mhm.
Not in the queue. Like I'm just starting to watch the final season of What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, yeah, I still haven't finished that either. We got a few episodes in, and then, like, stuff keeps coming up.
Did you see the one where they got the Frankenstein monster to pretend he was the supervisor at the train?
Yes, we did get to that part.
That was that was pretty good. He liked the cut of his jib. That was
Yeah, I that whole episode was really good. I think the last episode we saw had to do with Nandor kinda losing it a little bit.
well. The last thing I saw was Nandor got fired.
Yeah, no, we made it a little bit farther than you did, apparently then.
Oh, okay, well, so then don't tell me anymore.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's I was just doing enough to, like, hint you towards I forgot a word and typing sucks. Oh, yeah, you're good.
Mine really sucks. And you know what is worse than my typing?
Mm.
Suri assisting me.
Yeah, you are pretty bad at that.
Well, she's infuriating.
I don't know why you keep playing with it.
You know, I, who knows why I do anything. All right,
Yeah.
excuse me, nice pianos. That's the takeaway. Very Pet Shop Boy esque. But what
Mm.
about next one? Sex never goes
Uh,
out.
I don't think I like this one. Let me
All right. Now I'll look up at the ceiling again. Oh, what do I have to show? This did come in the mail today. This is a Police Greatest Hits, but it's on some kind of weird format, DTS Digital Surround, which I guess was a big deal when this came out, but now I think everything you own can play this.
Yeah.
But this case is bigger, and I can't figure out how to open it.
Showing everybody my drink too in case anybody's interested.
And if anybody knows how to open these things, let me know.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tear it a new asshole, but I'm trying to keep it safe because I don't think
Yeah,
I can place this case.
it does.
So, sex never goes out of style. What did you think of that?
I said it was a really weird cadence that she was going with.
Uh,
Like, whatever going on was very odd, and I said I liked the background instruments, and I said very undercooked.
yeah.
I feel like it coulda used 5 more minutes.
I think Fawn likes your drink.
I'm doing oh, yeah. Awesome. It is strawberry citrus, it is the sparkling ice with caffeine. Ooh.
It will peel you off the ceiling later.
Mhm.
So my notes are pretty simple. Great title. Song stinks.
Yeah, that one when I say weird cadence, I usually don't like it if I mention how the melody goes.
But the weird thing is, I was just listening to this before the show, and I was thinking, yeah, this is actually kind of good.
There's something there. Like I said, if they had, like, 5 more minutes they spent on it, I think it could have been way better.
We are having chills for dinner. Wonder what
You
that say.
you
CHILLS. Isn't that chills?
Chili's, I think, is what it
Is
is.
chili?
You know yeah.
Yeah, I can't read. I can't write. I can't type.
If we can get out of the house, the plan is Texas Roadhouse.
Now, where the fuck is a Texas Roadhouse over there?
Right up the street?
Are you shitting me?
I'm not.
How far?
Like 8 minutes?
You suck ass, bro.
Well, thank you.
Takes me 30 minutes to get there.
Yeah, no, it's pretty close by.
Saturday night, you might get lucky and it's not completely packed in there.
I know, it's also if we can get out of the house. There's that too.
Hi, AC. How you doing?
Hey, and we got Tom Baker here too.
Baker.
Oh, they're talking to Tom Baker, not Thomas. You're Thomas.
You know, I always forget that.
Yeah.
Because
Thomas.
they call me all three.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think of Bag Bone?
Bag and Bone. I think I can pull this up to where I can still see my notes. I said the guitar riff on this one is amazing. I really enjoyed it. It kept getting stuck in my head. I said they put the weird filter on her voice and it doesn't sound good on this one.
Right, but I was thinking for a B-side. You're always thinking you're begging bone. I don't know. I kind of like it. Nice
I wish they
song.
put the filter.
Not my fave, but
Yeah.
it jams a little bit, right?
Like I said, the guitar was amazing. I think that's what made it jam.
Yeah, it's got motion to it.
Yeah. I was bobbing my head to it. I'll have to tell you what S Life there was one song S Life overheard me re-listening to this morning, was like, "I like this one," so I'll point that one out when we get there.
Oh, cool.
Oh, get a little outsider perspective.
Now, I don't know what the name of this song is. It's either April or April 1st.
I think it was April 1st when I was looking at it,
Huh?
but
I'm not 100% sure because I've only got written April. But I was listening to this one a few minutes ago too. What did you think of April?
this one
Yeah.
this one had a riff that they used, and they kept using it. It was almost back to back and little to no words.
I didn't catch the main part of your sentence garbled. What did you say?
I said there is a guitar riff that they use, and they use it every 1 second.
Uh-huh.
It's almost like the same thing over and over again, and then there's little to no words, and I didn't love it.
And that's the one.
I didn't love it.
That's that one. But isn't this the one where it's "Don't Say No to Me, Daddy"?
I mean, that's fine.
This is that song, right?
Is it?
I don't know.
Well, don't listen to me. I get them all confused.
I tell you what, if Renault is using "Ordinary World" on their TV commercial, they need to take that down. Those guys never license their songs for commercials. You should
Oh.
heads up. That's a shit car too. I wouldn't have
Oh.
that.
Weird to use for a car ad.
Yeah, they don't do ads. There was one a yogurt company was using "Hungry Like the Wolf."
Mhm.
and
And there's the
they just did it.
yeah.
And then within a week, it was dead.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Whatever.
I think that's the one, or was that Happiness Part Two?
Oh, I hated Happiness Part 2.
You see, I've got weird, fun song on here.
Really? Man, you liked a lot of the ones I did not like.
Well, because there's always something there is the problem.
I don't agree with that 100% of the time. I get what you're saying for some of these ones, but Happiness Part 2 was not my favorite.
Well, the next time I see you, we'll sit down and listen to some of these ones, and I'll tell you why I like them. It's too bad we never listened to these together.
Well, sorry, I'm in Conway.
Yeah, I know. So, what do you think of Happiness Part Two?
Well, what did I just say?
You said it was a weird, fun song.
No, you said that.
I did?
Yeah,
Okay.
you did. I said I didn't like it.
Or Confidence. Maybe that's the one that's.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. Confidence is the next song. What do you have for that?
Let me see. Oh, I said, where the vocals at? I didn't hear a lot. If we're talking about the same one, because wasn't Happiness Part 2 the one right before it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and I put no, just no for Happiness Part 2, and then the next one I put, I feel like there's not a lot of vocals.
Well, it's got a kick and bass line.
Yeah, I put that down, I like that.
And I say it's a great song when it's not noisy. So that's probably the one that does the. And I think that's really overused on that one.
Yeah, they love
Then it kind
for a lot
of. There's these keys that come in and they're beautiful, but then they put that guitar noise over it and much louder. And it ruins.
yeah, I did notice that.
What did you think of Enough is Never Enough?
Let me see. I said this one is so undercooked that I don't even know if they could save it.
Well, again, they were still doing like the little samples and stuff like that.
I know, it's just I can say it if it's true.
But I mean, it does look like they grabbed an unfinished song and threw it on the record.
Yeah, it was like I said, that one's gonna take a couple months of workshopping.
Yeah, I've got A Little Rocky, A Little Good.
A little good. That's how I like my music.
What the hell was the one that was like a minute long? Is this one?
Was it?
Yeah, there's almost completely instrumental, but there's a sample of like Holy Shit or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. This next one I wrote. I wish it was cooked more.
Well, if Never Enough, I don't think Never Enough is that one.
I don't think so either. I think Never Enough was. If we're talking about the next song, I know there was an instrumental thrown in there somewhere that I actually kind of liked.
Okay, yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're talking about the cover of Wild Horses Live.
Wild Horses Live. Okay. I put. Yeah, I said even though this one was this kind of a slow one. Are we on the same page?
Yeah, Wild Horses is a serious ballad.
I said since I don't like slow songs, I was really surprised how much I like this one.
Well, it's a Rolling Stones song, so they're world-class songwriters.
I really enjoyed this song.
Me too, and I've got written here that she does it better than Mick Jagger's version, and she sings it more earnestly. And then when you have her buttery smooth voice,
Yeah.
like I wouldn't usually put a live track up here, but I thought it was that good.
I also said very good background instruments. I made a note of that.
Especially, remember, that's live.
Yeah, that was really nice. I like the Garbage Singles, especially their James Bond song, but I never listened to their albums. I love the James Bond song for
That's
Garbage.
got to be in their top 5 songs, no doubt about that. But if you don't listen to their albums, certainly go look over on the community page for the playlist for Beautiful Garbage. This is probably, I mean, I haven't heard all the rest of them because I dipped out for a few years, but Beautiful Garbage is, I think, is a masterpiece. I would probably put this in my pile of, people say if I was on an island and you had 25 records, this would be in there.
One of them, yeah, because it does have a little bit of everything, I will give you that.
The writing was on point, and the lyrics were on point, and the feeling was on point. All right, so the next one is I'm really into techno. This is the one that says, "Oh, holy shit!"
Yeah, I actually love this one. It was very silly, but also I like when people sample stuff. It sounds like a phone call or something that they just took, and
Or off the TV or something, or somebody they thought was stupid.
I love that. It reminds me of what you do.
And I'm only into techno, or I'm really into techno. So
Oh,
the only one I would skip on this whole pile on the second disc.
you would skip this?
Yeah, it just didn't land for me.
Oh,
I
I like.
Cutesy Poo, I do like that's funny, but the underlying music is not for me. I'm
Oh,
filler.
oh.
It
No,
sort of reminds me of that Duran Duran, Someone Else Not Me B-side
mm,
Prototype.
yeah.
Remember,
I
Prototype is just a sample of Simon's voice over and over again over really bad music.
But that one wasn't as good. This one was at least, like, well put together, I think.
I'll give you it's a little better than that, but it's in the family.
I guess. I definitely enjoyed this one way more than that one.
Well, I'll give you Prototype. I wouldn't ever listen to again for any.
Yeah. This one I might.
Maybe if it was on there. For me, it's a skipper.
Oh, okay. Okay.
AC,
Whatever.
is impressed with Garbage. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
I do like Garbage. I am impressed with Garbage.
Shirley is very underrated singer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we look.
I took a shower.
I didn't.
Maybe they think you're looking good today because you can't see you.
Yeah, maybe, but I think I'm looking fly.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't really see your face.
Well, maybe because you're blind.
I've got a sloppy sweatshirt on,
I've
but I
got a.
did have a shower. So we're at the last one. It's another cover and it's another live version. Pride in the Name of Love. What did you think of that?
That was the last one?
Well, there were some demos and stuff after that, but we're not going to discuss demos.
But I was looking at your playlist you put up. Wasn't there two more?
What?
Wasn't there two more on your playlist?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Maybe I was off with my numbers.
There were B-sides and stuff, right? What do you have there that's giving you that confusion?
Well, because I have a song 24 and 25, so that's why I'm confused.
Name of them.
I don't have the names down for them. I just have numbers.
Bung.
Um,
Let me grab.
this song, I remember I said I love this song. It was like the best B-side.
And I don't have it on the list.
No, the song title you just said.
Let's see. So you've got Pride in the Name of Love. Then you've got Androgyny Mix, Till the Day I Die demo, Nobody Loves You rough mix, Breaking Up the Girl acoustic, Silence is Golden demo, Can't Cry These Tears rough, Shut Your Mouth live, Beg and Bone early demo. Those are all unworked.
Okay. My list was off. That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, that song you just said though, the title, I remember that one because I remember really liking it. And S Life said I love that song when I was listening to it earlier today.
Uh-huh.
That's I think the best side.
Which one?
Pride in the Name of Love.
That's the best B-side?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard U2's version? They wrote it.
And I don't think I have.
You should listen to that.
If I like this, I should, yeah, like that one.
Yeah, I'm with you, Tommy. I'm not a big U2 fan.
I mean, I don't listen to U2 either.
They are overrated, no question about it. But that one that one record they did is pretty good. It jams.
Carpenter loves you too.
What is what? Well, if you love you too, what is the name of that record where it's kind of rocking? I'm trying to remember. It's Octoon Baby. That's the one from them that is good. And I mean, they wrote "With or Without You." I mean, you have to acknowledge that that's a good song. But Bono's voice is never really for me. But "Pride in the Name of Love," he does a good job with that.
I love this cover then, because I really enjoyed this one.
You've never heard of U2?
Oh.
You're living, Fawn. If you somehow escaped U2, there are some things that I would love to miss the train on, but you just can't get away from them. The Office is one of them.
Yeah.
Are you knitting or what are you doing there, Chief?
Me? I'm messing with the bottle cap.
All right, nothing weird there.
Well, I'm just living my life.
All right, take it easy.
Sorry.
So now it's time to pick your favorite song on this record and your least favorite song on this record and your honorable mention.
Okay, what was that one song called? Golden Hour, or what was it?
Golden Hour.
Silence is golden.
Back.
Silence is golden.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You ready for my list? I already thought of it before I came.
Go ahead. What's your favorite song on this record?
Best song's Androgyny.
Really?
Yes.
That is shocking.
Why?
I don't know.
I like that song a lot.
It was just a little flat for me. I know it was a single, but...
And everybody I listened to it with loves it and added it to their playlist. So what does that say?
Well, it's a single. So I guess they knew what they're doing. For me, it doesn't light my fire like most of these.
What's your favorite song on this album?
And I mean, it's almost impossible to say.
Do it. Try.
I'm going to go with, and I mean, this is by the thinnest of hairs that have ever existed. But I'm going to have to go with Nobody Loves You.
Okay.
Because it's heartfelt. It almost sounds like a therapy session. And then at the end, she just really comes unglued.
I might need to listen to that again because I remember not liking that one, but that's fine.
It's almost by the time she gets into the end and starts really ripping, it's a tornado.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I assume that after she recorded that, she passed out for a week.
Yeah.
Was put into that. But I mean, I could have picked many, many more.
What's your runner-up for best?
Runner-up for best would have to be... God, there's just so many.
Runner-up.
I really like Cup of Coffee.
Oh yeah. That's good.
Come on.
I didn't like it. I don't have to like everything.
I know. And Silence of Golden certainly is on that list. And Drive You Home is beautiful as well.
Ugh, you're picking all my least faves, but that's fine.
Listen, I like the ones that hit at the heart.
What about your sleeper?
I mean, gosh. I probably just gave you all my sleepers because I don't want you to ignore them, but I guess I'll pick it off the B-sides.
Yeah.
Do.
But yeah.
Even So Like a Rose is fucking awesome. That's going to be my sleeper, So Like a Rose. Don't skip that.
So Like a Rose. Okay, and Silence is Golden, is that song?
Yeah, that's the one that's sort of like a rape song.
Oh, that's nice. I'm gonna put that as my sleeper.
Well, I mean, listen to the lyrics. I think that's what's going on.
Is it? Oh, well, I like that song a lot.
It jams, and it's angry.
I like a good jam, you know?
So give me your least favorite then.
Happiness Part 2.
Wow, really?
Because I put no as the notes. It's the only thing I put down that was just like no.
Isn't that the one where she goes, "Don't say no to me, Daddy"?
Yeah, but why do you like that?
It's so funny.
Yeah, I thought the that other one was funny and you didn't like it, the sampling one.
Well, Tom Baker, as soon as we're finished here, I'll sit on here for a little while and I'll talk Duran Duran for you until you're blue in the face.
Uh-oh.
I can talk about Duran Duran every single day.
Yeah, but you've already talked about every album.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, we're excited about the wedding album redo. We're all excited about Reportage if it ever gets unearthed and finished.
We'll have to talk about it too when that happens.
I just did a little mini run of concerts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to look for. I guess I'm gonna say the worst song on any of these is "I'm Really Into Techno."
Aw, mean.
I'm just saying. That's the one that just doesn't. There's so many, and it's not really that song's fault. It's just there's so many good songs on this record that I mean,
I like.
normally I'd pick a cover version, but what she does with Wild Horses is insane. I don't think she does the best job on the U2 song.
I thought she did really good with the U2 song. To be fair, I haven't heard the original, but I liked hers.
Well, go listen to the original. I think there's a live version
Mm-hmm.
video for "In the Name of Love" and "Pride in the Name of Love." That's about the assassination of Martin Luther King.
Oh, that's sad.
It is, but it's a powerful song, and it keeps his name out there and alive. We're coming up on Martin Luther King Day, so
Yep.
it's a good reminder for everybody.
Yeah, I do forget a lot of good songs. Yeah, Fawn saying forgot a lot of U2 songs.
What?
Fawn was saying, "Oh, I forgot a lot of good songs," and they were talking about U2, so I assume that's what they were meaning.
Yeah, well, they've got that breakout song that they did, "With or Without You,"
With or without you.
and then they've got "The Streets Have No Name."
Mm-hmm.
I was in that Middle Earth record store one day, and I was listening, and I'm like, that sounds like "Where the Streets Have No Name," and then all of a sudden I hear Neil Tennant singing. And I'm like, and this was like maybe a year after that song came out. You don't use a cover version that quick.
Pretty fast.
And then, sure enough, it is the Pet Shop Boys singing "Where the Streets Have No Name." I asked the guy if it was a joke or something because they always got a hold of weird shit and would play it. And they're like, "No, it's a 12-inch single."
Wow, look at you.
And they mixed it with the name of that song, "I Love You, Baby, and If It's Quite All Right." That they
Baby.
mash up.
Oh, I remember that song. You've had me listen to it before.
Yeah, that's what they did. I had to ask. Well, that's a U2 song. The at least half of it is.
Yeah.
And then that album I'm talking about, Octoon Baby, has some great ones.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I would recognize them if I listened.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably 5 or 6 U2 songs I could listen to.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Tom Baker's correct. They are definitely overrated.
Well, I'll have to be the judge of that.
Well, they are. I think so, anyway. They get a little too much praise.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't. It's not really on my radar at all.
Well, at the time, if you'd lived through it, there was no escaping it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I didn't, so I'm free.
It's like Taylor Swift now. You are not going to escape that.
That's true about that. I do know all of her songs.
You are not going to escape Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
Can't get away. Debbie Loopy. I can't get away from her.
Dua Lipa?
Yeah.
Okay. I do know her.
You know, I'm going to tell you an observation I'm making because I was watching this video where they talk about where songs were clearly stolen from someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And the list was all pretty new songs, including Debbie Loopy. She's done it a couple of times.
Yeah, they like to sample old stuff.
Right, but without crediting the artist.
Well, yeah, people do that too.
Oh, that's illegal. Excuse me. But what I'm thinking is they're doing it on purpose because they can't write any songs that are catchy on their own. So they do that. They know they're going to get sued and they're going to have to give a songwriting credit at some point. But in the meantime, they've got themselves another hit and they're taking that all the way to the bank.
I don't think all new music is bad.
I'm not saying all, but I'm saying there's an increasing amount of people who are clearly stealing. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, because people are getting lazy.
Well, I just don't think they can come up with anything. Everything has been done.
Yeah.
I mean, you got rock and roll that really started in the 50s.
Mhm.
Here we are in the 2020s. What more? You're almost 100 years now, and there's
Mhm.
so many notes.
True dat.
So I think that's what's going on. They've decided. It'd be very interesting to see what the next phase in music is.
Yeah, I'd be interested to. Occasionally I hear a new song and I'm like, okay, and sometimes I hear a new song and I'm like, so
Right, but I mean, everything is derivative. And I'm sorry, anybody Taylor Swift fans, I don't get it.
I don't either.
I don't get any of them.
Nope.
I don't run away from her with a crucifix, but it's just not. None of her songs hit me. I have no idea why she is famous and as successful as she is.
Yeah.
I don't care. But I'm old man shouting at clouds. So,
Yep.
yes, here in six, the top 100 bands voted U2 number one. Get the fuck out of here, number one. The top 100 bands voted U2 number one? And they beat the fucking Stones?
I know who they are.
And I'm not the biggest Rolling Stones fan, but give me a fucking break.
There's somebody in the other room wearing a Rolling Stone shirt as we speak.
See?
See? And how many times have I seen a U2 shirt? Never.
Well, and that's because they went silent for many, many, many years.
Yeah, nobody even knows what they're talking about.
The last time I heard about U2, all of those guys were buying property in Malibu,
Mhm.
California, and building these giant compounds, and they were all connected so they could all hang out together.
Lame.
And then I don't know what happened to that because the city was fighting them, and what I guess it's really hard to build in California. But
Mm.
anyway, fires ran through there, and a lot of people are losing everything,
Ew. Oh yeah, I heard about that.
and it's all in that area.
Yeah, I remember because I saw a bunch of people, creators I like who live in California, and they had to keep making notes saying, "Hey, we're okay," like,
Right.
"We vacated," or whatever, and it's just like, yeah, I didn't that's the only way I heard about it.
And then come to find out, one of the fires was set by an arsonist.
Lovely.
And about 2 months ago, I was listening to a clip with Quentin Tarantino. Do you know who that is?
Mhm.
And Joe Rogan. Do you know who that is?
I do know who that is.
So those guys were sitting there talking, and they were Quentin Tarantino lives up in those Hollywood Hills, and he was
Mhm.
the response from the fire department. He accidentally hit the fire button or something, and then the fire department was there lickety splits, and he's like, "Wow, I live in a really great spot. The fire department gets over there," and he goes, and then the fire guy told me, he said, "See all this brush around here? If those Santa Ana winds ever come in and they starts a fire, we can't save any of this. It'll all be gone in a flash." He said
Right.
2 months ago,
Mhm.
and then it happened.
Great.
And then it's just burning everything in its path.
Yeah, I heard it's really bad this time.
Insanely bad. I've never heard of a fire. I mean, you hear about the San Francisco fire 100 years ago where it burned down San Francisco,
Yeah.
and you hear about the Chicago fire and stuff like that. But that was back in the old days where their fire truck, you had to crank it to get the water out and shit like that.
Way harder.
It's not supposed to be that way anymore, but you can see fire just goes through and just rips everything. It's
Oh,
terrible.
yeah. That big? Can you even imagine? Trying
No,
to find.
everything you own is gone. Like here, we might get hit by a tornado
Yep.
and everything would be gone.
Yeah, and there's all kinds of relief stuff. Like, we're, like, ready to help people going through that.
Well, you never know. Those tornadoes are amazing when they touch down and start ripping shit up. You're like, I can't believe
Yep.
it's how much damage that it does.
Yep.
Luckily, the people that are saying they're okay, uh, I mean, their house burned down and all their stuff burned down, and that's terrible. But
They're alive.
they're alive, and that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
I mean, it would be a bummer for like pictures and stuff to get burned, but any of the stuff in here, yeah, it's a bummer, but who gives a shit?
You could start over.
Yeah, you don't even need to start over. I wish I had a lot less garbage. Do I like the Rolling Stones? Everybody likes the Rolling Stones. Is there's just what point on the scale are you?
Yep.
There's probably 25, 30 Stone songs that I think my favorite is probably Start Me Up.
Mhm.
Wild Horses, certainly.
Yep.
I probably could go on. And that one, yeah, murder, it's just a shot away. It's just a shot away. That's a really good tune, too. They've got some epic tunes, but I mean, listen, they were in the 60s, so they got a leg up on everybody.
Yeah, they're fresh.
All right, so that's all I have to say about garbage. Next week, and I'm going to go put that up right now, Bleed Like Me, and you will be pleasantly surprised. There is some amazing stuff on here, and again, there is some amazing topics that are covered in the songs. Bleed Like Me is actually pretty wild if you listen to the lyrics.
Okay, I'm excited.
And then there's some other songs on there.
There's nothing I like more than a title track.
Yeah, Bleed Like Me is good, but it's sort of a more downbeat one.
Mhm.
That's mostly they're doing that acoustic guitar.
I don't mind some downbeat.
Yeah, but then it sort of picks up. Again, they always find a way to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, sounds good, young man. I'll be looking for your playlist.
All right, go have fun at your party, and I'll see you sometime in the future, hopefully. I'm going to
Talk.
stay here and talk to Tom Baker, but please feel free to dip out.
Goodbye.
So long, sailor. So now it's just us, and we'll talk about Duran Duran, because that's what Tom Baker loves. Tommy, what do you have to say about Duran Duran? I'm picky about music. I am too, but I am expanding what I'm listening to. But definitely go to my community page and watch those two videos with Sarah Bernales, or if I don't even know if that's how you say it, and Rufus Wainwright. Boy, that's a hard thing for me to say. Wainwright. Rufus Wainwright. With the Rufus in there and then the Wayne. See, I can't even do it. Wainwright. Too much for my brain. But please go listen to that. That amazing. That deserves attention. That's how good that was. So you got so much information about Duran Duran. Well, hit me with it, Tommy. And again, I'm still asking, does anybody know how to open these things? I can't seem to get this thing open. You want to talk about John Taylor? All right, why? That's always interesting to me. Who is their favorite Duran Duran member? And I'm mostly surprised when Roger or Andy comes up, but John seems to get a lot of attention. So lay it on me. Oh, one to talk to. Excuse me. Yeah, my reading. I'm looking on a phone. You want to talk to John for an interview? What would you ask John Taylor? And don't ask him what bass he was playing in the Planet Earth video. Apparently, that really gets on his nerves. If I was interviewing him, I'd ask him if he regrets dipping out of the band for several years. I think if I wanted to interview someone, it would have to be Nick Rhodes. He's way into those synthesizers. I'm very interested in that. I never heard of John Taylor. And you said you were 53, 54. Is that what you said? I can't see that far back on the list. I'm getting old here. I'm on 52 going on 53. How in the world did you escape Duran Duran? If you were around in 1983 or 84 or 85, there was no getting away from them. They were everywhere. Seems like there's always a band that comes along and then they rise up to the top and then the dip starts happening. I can think of, around that time, some of them stay around forever. Like Michael Jackson stayed around forever. He finally dipped with that Invincible album. Nobody seemed to be interested in. Madonna has now finally dipped. Probably the last 10 or 15 years. I don't know what happened there. I think you just run out of stuff to say or songs you can find or what. I'm not sure what happens with those superstars because they have all kinds of people, the best people to go into the studio with and writing the song. So I have no idea how that works. But I can remember, I'm trying to think who is it was super huge. I know Michael Jackson had the Thriller record and that was super huge. The Police definitely climbed the top of the mountain. They were huge for a while, but then they decided they didn't want to be a band anymore. Sting did, so then of course that slides without having them around. But Sting had a few great solo records after that too. I think John Taylor plays the bass, so I mean, there's not much to check out. He doesn't do a lot of talking. Um, he did do a film called, I think it was called Sugar Town or Sugar Land. Somewhere in the 90s, he did a film. He decided not to make music anymore or less and tried to get acting going, but I guess it never took fire. He was also in that, um, there was another movie, I think it was about Christmas or something. Look, I could probably answer that question about where they go with music. They listen to the same thing that Elton John sort of does. They listen to everything and they check the charts and they listen to what is popular and then they craft something of that style. I think that's why they went so far off track during Red Carpet Massacre. That trend they followed there was that was too off brand. But I know for a fact that they check what kind of songs are being played in the top 20, 25, and what instruments are used, and that's sort of the direction they go in. That's why I don't think two Duran Duran records are the same, really. Yeah, play that fucking bass, John. That's what they scream at the concerts. Was he doing his bass solo? The 1960 trend of pop trash. I'm trying to think on that. That's something to think on. 1960s. I don't think I ever got that. When I listen to pop trash, I really hear the last breath of that lineup. Nick, Simon, and Warren. Certainly, Simon has said he'd had it. He wasn't having fun anymore, and he really couldn't write and didn't care. And probably if they hadn't got the original lineup back together, there probably would be no Duran Duran today. So we got lucky there that happened. Even though Andy was only around for that one record, it was enough to relight the fire. The flame was at its lowest point, I think, for pop trash. Yeah, Lost. But well, I don't even. I think it was. You say Lost, but I don't know if you've ever tried to write a song, but sometimes you sit down with the piece of paper and the pen and you humming a tune, and sometimes there's just nothing there. You've said and done everything that you wanted to do or could think of. I think that's why it's important that he is such a reader, so at least you can get. I know several of the songs on Future Past were directly linked to books Simon was reading, the lyrics anyway. Share music. I'm trying to think if there's any. Uh-oh, I got low power mode here. Um, Share music. I'm trying to think of one tune that. What would I ask Nick Rhodes? I would sit down with him and he would probably be pestered by me, but I would pick his brain for everything he knows about synthesizers, how he goes about using them, and how you after so long can still sit down at those only very few keys and still come up with something. I mean, I'm sure the answer is probably tweaking the sounds and finding new sounds as the reward, but that would be our conversation. That's all I would want to talk about. And he'd probably find that very boring. And I'm nowhere near as artsy as he is. Nick could compose a soundtrack, but that stuff he did with that one chick where they were on like a break and that stuff, for some reason that stuff just didn't hit me. So I'm not 100% sure what kind of movie would be right for him to do, because it would have to be synth heavy. He certainly can do atmosphere, but I'm not sure. I can't even, I was watching The Green Mile the other day, and I was watching that. I hadn't seen it in a while, and I was sitting there going, this movie is really good. How come there are no more movies like this? Excuse me. You just don't see them anymore. It used to be a big deal when Thanksgiving was coming around. You were going to get together with family. You were going to have that bird. And there would always be a top tier movie around that time, between sort of around Thanksgiving up and through Christmas. And you just don't see those anymore. I mean, look at the pile of movies that came out this year that made any money. Certainly not of that caliber. We're still sort of in this like superhero bombastic movie phase. The Devil's Project was very good. I did like that. I'm not a big Stephen Duffy fan, but certainly that song "Big Store," Nick is playing his ass off on that one. So I do have that Devil's record up here somewhere. Dark Circles, I think, is what it's called. Great side project. But I have to confess, I don't listen to it that often. It's not Arcadia. That was the chair, by the way. See? Yeah, he could certainly do something like that. He's definitely got that sort of Thurman thing down. Um, but I mean, I don't. Who's watching Doctor Who anymore? I just saw a report that nobody's even watching. Like the Christmas special did terribly. So I don't know exactly where Doctor Who. He would have to. He would have to. He should do like an indie movie or something like that where he can control everything and they're just happy he's doing it. All right, Fawn, we'll see you. Thank you for showing up. And again, if Beat somehow manages to do something here later today, and I'm not otherwise occupied, I will be there. So I will see you there. And I appreciate you coming in. You always do. Thank you. Enjoy those dogs. He could do a David Lynch. David Lynch is artsy and weird, but I mean, what creativity does David Lynch still have in the tank? Would be my question. I'm thinking more of a young filmmaker who's hungry. You take care too, Fawn. Take care of those dogs. Yeah, he could probably do a Broadway musical, but I mean, I don't know. You probably could do it, but would it light his fire? I don't know about that. I mean, certainly his controlling the direction of the Arcadia record shows that he is an immense talent. And some of the stuff on there is some of the best he's ever done. I mean, there's some real, he really sort of, I mean, he's always been good in my opinion, but that period around Rio and Is There Something I Should Know, and then into Seven of the Ragged Tiger, that's where he really sort of really started ripping it up. Yeah, maybe something British, but usually the movies I see out of Britain are always like a Guy Ritchie or something like that. And listen, I like Guy Ritchie. That what was the one where it had the girl from Downton Abbey? What the hell is her name? Can't remember her name. And I think Matthew McConaughey was in it, and they were all sort of gangsters. And one of them, one of the sets of people, always wore these real sharp matching tracksuits. I think Colin Farrell was in that. Um, Dockery, I think is her name, her last name. I'm blanking on the first one. Michelle Dockery, maybe she's like one of the main chicks on Downton. Anyway, that was a cool movie. There was one I saw with Hugh Grant and what the hell was the name of that too? I can't remember the names, but I like those movies. And like a period piece. Tom Hardy did the are they the Crane brothers or the Crays? I think they're the Crays. Crays, and he played both parts. That guy did a really good job on that. But I mean, where would you? I don't think Nick's playing style would complement that. I'm trying to think what he should do, like a vampire movie or Frankenstein or something atmospheric like that. Pop Culture Minefield, don't know them. YouTube channel. A new chat starts in 1 hour. They know a lot. The host worked with Spielberg. Well, I'm sure they. I wonder what their opinion on the state of movies is. Pop Culture Minefield. Look that up. See what we find. Well, I hit all the keys there. Pop Culture Minefield, there they are. Oh, there's a lot of people there, huh? The French Connection. Yeah, some of that like deeper, like for lack of a better term, film snobs. I don't get some of that stuff. Like the French Connection, for me, was just okay. I'm not all excited about Popeye Doyle. I like Gene Hackman, but some of those older films to me are overrated. Oh, but they're doing the Deadpool. Shit, I would watch that. I love the Deadpool. Manchurian Candidate, I didn't love. 12 Angry Men, that's to me, that's really been overdone. Animal House, I've never understood the excitement for Animal House. I'm much more a Revenge of the Nerds. Gary the Host with Spielberg on Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan, that's another one of those films, right? That's a film you would have saw around Thanksgiving or Christmas, and you were blown away by it. But it wasn't, these crazy budgeted Martin Scorsese said those movies are like amusement parks or whatever, and it was kind of offensive when he first said it, but he was right on the money, I think. None of those movies are nourishing your brain or your soul. The Predator, again, that's not a brain nourisher, but that's a fun movie. I sure like that. Military Monday, Bad Monkey. Vaughn is really involved in some junky movies. His career really went sideways, in my opinion. Shadow of the Vampire. Don't know that one. Morning Coffee. What else do they got? Life on Mars. Were you a Life on Mars British version or American version? I only saw the American version. Conan the Barbarian I never got. And that's all on the upcoming live stream. Oh, they're going to do Gremlins 2. Yeah, I've heard Gremlins 2 dissected many times. I follow recently chats on movies. I talk with the center of the lightsaber. Oh, creator of the lightsaber. Yeah, I saw that dude. He's cool. Star Wars. He also created the alien Nostromo ship. Nostrum ship. That's a cool looking ship. When they made that ship, it certainly looked lived in, and that adds to the realness, or how they say, verisimilitude. Hey, signed autograph. All right. That's nice. I don't seem to be guys like that anymore either, who make those practical props and they become iconic. I can't think of the last thing that I saw in a movie that became iconic. Yeah. So Gremlins 2, yeah. I've heard Gremlins 2. I've seen it. Some of that stuff just washes over me because I'm just being entertained, or maybe my mind drifts, but I never picked up that Gremlins 2 was a goof on Gremlins 1. Is that the Mel Gibson Hamlet? I never saw that. I need to see that again. I keep turning because the camera is right in my way on the screen. Evolution was not a great movie. Either was Saving Silverman. The Amateur. Let's see here. Is it mostly live you do, huh? Let's see. Say Anything to Me is another overrated movie. When he's holding the radio over his head. I mean, I know that was sort of, or became iconic, but I never got that movie. Willow, another one that was sort of lost on me. I like Val Kilmer, but that movie didn't do anything for me. Outland, I still have not seen. That's that Sean Connery one, and it's supposed to be a really good sci-fi flick that is overlooked. I would love a good copy of that and watch that. I heard they were putting out something, so I'm waiting for that. I do want to see that. City Hall, I saw. I gotta tell you, it was boring in the same way that The Godfather 3 was boring. Mighty Joe Young, I don't care about. FX, boy, I haven't seen FX in a long time. That was a fun movie. I like Brian Dennehy. What else do you have here? Invasion USA. Designer Roger Christian. He made election dat video. I asked him. He gave a lot of information about Duran. It's on YouTube. ISO directed Nostradamus election day video. The election day video, had we included Arcadia, I think maybe not The Promise is sort of a bit boring, but certainly Election Day and Goodbye is Forever and Missing are still relevant videos today. I wish people put that kind of effort into their videos. The extended video of Election Day is insane. Die Hard, yeah. I could talk about Die Hard. Village of the Damned, I don't know that. Congo, I remember when that came out. Lady Hawk, yeah. The Professional, I think, is overrated too. It's a good movie, but Natalie Portman is just not my cup of tea. Raid on Intibi? I don't even know what that is. Those Equalizer films, I watch those. They're okay. Near Dark, I haven't seen. War Games, that's an all-time classic. Talk about underrated. I think War Games is underrated. Then there's Gremlins. I guess that makes sense. Oh, well, they even go back to The Quiet Man, huh? Mad Max movies I never got into. Die Hard 2. Gary discusses album of new music that comes out December 5th. Not sure what that is. A lot of Fallout. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. We watch that every year for Thanksgiving. It's a Thanksgiving movie, and every year we watch it, and every year I laugh. Firefox, that was another kind of underwhelming Clint Eastwood movie, just because he doesn't get into that plane until the very end. I hate when movies tease you that much. Hopefully about, so when you say that, are you talking about you want to talk to one of the members on a chat? I will say that Ask Kathy has always answered my questions, and it's never a day goes by. Usually it's within an hour. I really do like her. She'll entertain my stupid questions, and there's absolutely no gain for her. The John Ritter. I went back and watched that John Ritter version of it. I got to tell you, it was pretty cheeseball. Someone connected with Duran Duran. Oh, I see what you're saying. Talk to like. There was a video of the guy who did their album covers for the first several ones when they were doing those reissues. He was very interesting, and uh, he showed that one. He didn't do it, but he was talking about the Notorious one, where you look at it, but it's really only half, and if you flip it over, it's all one. It's all one image. I'd never noticed that. And I looked at that record a trillion times before he said that. Salem's Lot. Boy, they dig deep. I do like that they dig deep like that. American Werewolf in London. I just watched that. Boy, am I speaking. American Werewolf in London. I just watched that recently. A little overwhelmed. Underwhelmed, I would say. Silver Bullet. That's another bad Stephen King. Colors was overrated. I remember people were all excited about that. What We Do in the Shadows was a pleasant surprise. That is funny. What a funny idea. Doing a fake documentary show about vampires, and they're all roommates and jerk offs. Shining, The Walking Dead. I dipped out of The Walking Dead when Rick left. Salem's Lot, SEAL Team, Evil Dead 2. Those Evil Dead movies are funny. 3, controversial take. 3 for me is the funniest one. I love it when he's going there and he's going to the book and he's got to speak the words and they have to be exact and he forgets some of them and he goes, and then all hell breaks loose. Well, I got the 4 on the Floor cassette, but it's nothing I did. And I don't know how that girl, I don't even know how I got in contact with that girl. I can't remember. I think it was over bootleg video cassettes were big around that era. And I somehow got on I mean, I don't even remember. I don't even think there was email at that time. I'm trying to remember. I don't know how I connected with her. Um, Low battery 10%. Well, this live stream is going to end pretty soon and it might end abruptly. So if I disappear, I'm still okay. It's just my phone is dead. And there's no way to plug it in over here. Um, what was I talking about? Oh, Four on the Floor. Yeah. I don't know how she got a hold of that. I would be very interested to know what the source of that was because she wasn't that connected, as I remember. She worked in a record store, but it was way out in the middle of buttfucked Egypt. Because I remember I had to drive to it once, and I mean it was way out there. Maybe she got talking to somebody or knew got a hold of it. But I would be very interested to see where that cassette had come from. It was very cool getting it, and all I had to do was ask. She was happy to make a copy for me. And then from that, I handed it to my brother, where he worked in the South Coast Plaza Nordstrom. And he was so impressed with Ordinary World that he would play that tape in his department. Men's Shoes. And it sort of snowballed from there. That's why, for me, the wedding album was sort of anticlimactic. I mean, I was happy it was coming out and everything, but I'd heard it to death before the album came out. And then all of a sudden, you get it and it's changed. I mean, talk about something you want to talk to them about. I would like to know, why did you remove Stop Dead off of that record? Certainly belongs on that record. Patriot Games, Zero Dark 30. I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. Well, they do dig for some random movies. Give them that. Bad Monkey seems to be coming up a lot. Well, I mean, it wasn't all garbled or anything like the Seven and the Ragged Tiger demo. It was perfectly listenable. And I have no idea what generation of tape I got. Because certainly video cassettes, the more you copy those, man, those could get shitty. But I remember the tape being, I mean, it was good enough so that I could run off a copy and give it to my brother. And he was playing it in the store, and he certainly wasn't allowed to play shit in the Nordstrom. So it must have been a pretty good copy. I'm trying to remember if it was on a metal tape or something. I've always had pretty good equipment, not audiophile level, but when I do buy something, I try not to buy junk because I want the stuff to last and last and last. One thing I hate is if you get something and you take care of it and it still breaks. That really grinds my gears. I'm working with this. It's a Blu-ray jukebox is really what it is. And it was made by Sony, and it was a Blu-ray one. And this is the time where, number one, the thing was insanely expensive. But what was cool about it is, and it still does because I'm still working on it, it holds 400 discs on this cylinder. And then whichever one you want to call up, you press in the number from 1 to 400, and then that movie comes on. But it is an absolute, they stopped updating the software in 2011, and it's an absolute bitch to load that thing. It rejects so many of the discs. But for some reason, if you take it out and put it back in, and then take it out and put it back in, and then take it out and put it back in, then sometimes it'll magically work all of a sudden. So I don't know. But I found it for super cheap a couple of weeks ago. So I'm like, yeah, that'll be cool. Because I had the DVD one. I always looked at that and wished, boy, I wish I was Blu-ray. Because Blu-ray is such a step up from DVD. So I got it, and it is an absolute bastard to work with. But it works. And by the way, I bought it without a remote, and that thing is absolutely 100% useless without the remote. Luckily, one of my other players is a Sony, and for whatever reason, the remote worked with it, so that was cool. Why did you leave out 4 great songs on the Paper Gods album? Are they only on the deluxe album? What songs did I leave out? I think I caught everything, unless it wasn't on the deluxe. The deluxe they added Laughing Boy, and then there's that other one that Simon sings that it's like a not finished song. I really like that one. And I'm trying to remember what else they put on that as an extra. I don't, the one that stands out to me is Laughing Boy. But I'd be interested to hear what you think I left out, because I don't think I did. I certainly have the deluxe. But just in case anybody watching this has always coveted that Blu-ray jukebox, without a software update, I don't know that that thing is worth it. I mean, for me right now, it's great for storage because I can take them all out and put the boxes away and save a bunch of room. If you look up here, you can see a gap right there. You can see a gap right there. You can see a gap right there and a gap right there. Because before it looked like this. They're all stacked to the gills, and then you get another one, and you can't fit it anywhere alphabetically. So I'm slowly going through those, and then hopefully there's going to be spots, and I'm going to be able to move some of them over. Why did they leave out 4 great songs on the Paper Gods record? That's a good question. Because the all roads lead to my resurrect. Valentine Stones is world class. Um, and Cinderella Ride. I mean, to me, that's one of their. That would certainly make my list of top songs. If I had to put it in a pile and you didn't want to go for the obvious singles or something like that, that is definitely I love that tune. That should have been on there. And the Northern Lights, I mean, it's all right. It's sort of a throwback. I don't know that should have been on the record or not. Danceophobia, I mean, it's there. I don't. I mean, I couldn't tell you. But certainly Valentine Stones and Cinderella Ride. No question that should be on the record. Yeah, I'm reading your sentence. Yeah, that's absolutely you picked out the ones I absolutely would have, and I would have probably removed Danceophobia certainly if they couldn't fit it on there. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Paper Gods, you got Paper Gods, obviously. I don't know what else I would clip off of there. Danceophobia is the one that really stands out. It's not top tier. That's the one with Sunset Garage Day too. I probably would clip that right out of there and put those 2 songs in. But maybe they thought they were just too not of the time. I don't know. Or they thought they were strong and wanted to sell singles, but I don't ever remember there being singles put out. I don't remember getting a CD of Last Night in the City or Laughing Boy. Yeah, that is criminal. Laughing Boy is probably, out of that session, I would put that in the top 5. Because I think the top 5 for that record, I don't remember what I said on the video, but certainly Laughing Boy and Wing, absolutely. I don't know what else I would put in there. But that's certainly the cream to me. And I sort of like that last one, that guy, the piano guy, I can't remember his name. But they did the track 5 years with him, and then he agreed to play piano on their record. And I think that's a good tune. A lot of feeling in that one. But for a song I would clip off of Future past. I don't know if I would clip anything off that record. I don't love Tonight United. I mean, if you're making me remove one for Laughing Boy, certainly that is nowhere near the quality of Laughing Boy. I don't think the next album will be retro. I'm actually really concerned about it because that was recorded in 2005, 6, somewhere in there. And I don't remember if you know what they were playing on the radio, but it wasn't great. And they say it's a political record, which I hate. Hate politics, and I don't want my songs having politics in them unless they're masked better than some of them are. But I'm concerned that that might be not retro, but maybe stale. Because look at the direction they were headed. You got their worst record in 2008 after that whole thing blew up. So I don't know. Yeah, they're working on that. That's what they're working on. That's why when I hear Farney, Ron Farney was saying that they're going to have a record out this year, I'm like, how do you do that? They never crank out a proper, proper's not the right word, an album that they sit down and write every song, and that's the session of the record. They always take more than a year. They were able to crank out Dance so fast because there's a lot of covers there, and they only had to write 3 songs. I think that's how they were able to crank that. And by the way, they didn't crank it out that fast. So to go back and finish Reportage, certainly they could do it. I don't know that they could do it on a time schedule where they release it in 25. I don't know. But we'll certainly know in September or October because that's probably, if it's finished, that's where they would put it. But I don't know. Now, if you're talking about in the future, sort of past that thing they're doing, I don't know because they seem to be in a cycle of doing covers and stuff like that. Yeah, and Andy did a great job on the New Moon on Monday redo. And he certainly did a good job on Lonely in Your Nightmare. And it's not that I don't want to hear it, but I'm just afraid we're going to get a Red Carpet Massacre or a precursor to Red Carpet Massacre. Now, if they go in with all those tracks and refresh them with today's sensibilities and stuff, I don't know. I mean, it's impossible for me to discuss it because I haven't heard it. So I don't know. The only thing I've ever seen is one small, tiny clip that was in an interview, and it was Andy playing, and it was kind of hard, kind of noisy and nasty. So we'll see. Well, they are getting older, and every time I see that, I'm like, how longer can they go, right? But then you look at the Rolling Stones; they're still there. Kiss finally ran out of gas, but then uh, the 2 main guys went off and did their own thing. The Paul Stanley did some kind of, I don't know what that was. It was almost like a almost sort of the style of like what Rod Stewart did, where he was starting to do standards and stuff. That was a weird. I don't know if you saw that. That was a weird whole vibe. He was dressed weird, and it was so far away from Kiss. I don't know. I don't think it did well. And then I haven't heard Gene's new band, but he calls it the Gene Simmons Band. So we'll see if he wrote anything. Never was a really big Kiss fan, but well, that's I mean, that's impossible to escape. I remember I got out of the Marine Corps and I took a job at a hospital in the security department. I must have been around 21 or 22 or whatever. And everybody was around my age. And then there was this one guy who was 30. And I just remember thinking, man, that guy's old. What is he doing here? And it's so funny when you get to 50s, how ridiculous that notion is. I feel no different than when I was 15 years old. I think your brain freezes around that time. I'm still just as immature, just a little slower and like a little more quiet. But you don't really change much. At least that's my experience. So that guy being 30 had nothing to do with anything, but my perception of it was that guy was days away from death. And now I look at it and go, boy, was that misguided, especially in today's age where people are going, look at Jimmy Carter. He hit 100. Right, but the eye of the beholder certainly, but I think at that age you can't fathom the if you're 20 and you see a 30-year-old, your brain can't reconcile that. If you're not in your peer group within a few years, you just think everybody else is whatever. And then you find out all those people and all those adults you were looking up to, they were just as big a mess anyway. So everything's like a charade. Yeah, and I wouldn't even say smart for me. I'm whatever. I mean, I certainly pay more attention, and that probably leads to being more informed. And I mean, that's a way to say you're smart. I think smart people. Yeah, I think there are geniuses that are certainly born and are what I would call smart, and then there's other people that have been around a while and have seen so many things and see how things work, and you start noticing the patterns. You're certainly more savvy. That is, unless you get the cruel mind wiping disease, which I wouldn't even know what the point of going on after that is either. Yeah, I'm certainly more open to stuff. Those two songs I put up on the community page today, I probably would have never even listened to. And today it hits me much harder, which is nice. Because I used to be very rigid in what I would listen to. I didn't want it very far out of the Duran Duran box. But as the more you go on and the more you experience other stuff, you can say, no, actually, there's a lot of good music, and every genre has something to offer, even a rap. I mean, listen, Biggie Smalls had one or two tracks that are really good, I think. And I mean, today's music is fine. There are some good ones out there. Nothing I buy, though. I can't remember the last thing I bought. Well, I mean, the last thing I bought was this, but this is old. And this is like a compilation, too. There aren't even really that many songs there. This is kind of a cheap. I'm used to what they're doing now with the 2 and 3 discs. To a movie soundtrack, 1970s soundtrack. Well, what was the movie? I don't. I don't necessarily like scores, but a movie that's got a lot of like contemporary tunes, I do like. I think that was the misfire of Joker too. The songs they were picking were, number one, had nothing to do with the movie, and two, they were like old standard songs that didn't make any sense to me. I think one of them was from the 30s. I'm trying to think of the last newish thing I bought. Can't remember. I don't think I've purchased anything. I mean, because you wouldn't count. Like I just purchased a garbage special record they made for Record Store Day, and it is technically new, but I mean, it's drinking off of 1995. Marathon Man. Say, I've never heard that. I'm trying to think. There's a movie with Jeff Goldblum, and I think Alyssa Silverstone is in it. It's called Hideaway. That's got a really cool soundtrack. I'm trying to think of other soundtracks. Actually, that game they put out a year or two ago, Starfield, that had a really good soundtrack to it. Ooh, and you know who else had a great soundtrack? And it's almost impossible to find. They did a revival of Fantasy Island, and a guy wrote a bunch of music for the show. And it's a really good soundtrack, but it's almost impossible to find the disc. I'm trying to think of other soundtracks. I don't know. I've got the Ghostbusters soundtrack in there. Some good tunes on there. Speaking of a guy stealing a riff or a song, Salt from 2012. That's the Angelina Jolie. I don't remember. I've only seen that movie once. I haven't heard that one, or I don't remember it. I like the music theme song for Alias. I thought that was pretty cool. Hadn't heard anything like that before. Monk has a nice little tune by Randy Newman. I wouldn't call that a soundtrack, but that's their theme song. I don't know. It's hard to think of something right off the top of my head. And technically, that Duran Duran song, what the hell's the name of it though? Got to get you out of my mind. I can't escape from the feeling. Got you, what's left to believe in? For some reason, I'm blanking on the name of that song, but that was technically from The Saint. Uh, it'll be embraced if it's good. That's how it works. And exposure. You have to be exposed to it. How are they going to find that? Autocorrect? Yeah, well, I can barely see it, so I'm picking out sort of the gist of it. So I don't even see where you autocorrected, unless you didn't want to use the word embraced. Fans it new fan. Yeah, I understand what you're saying though. Is it good? Number one. And I don't really pass judgment on a record either. I need to live with it for a few months at least. 'Cause sometimes you're just not in the mood. I do that with movies too, where I'm like, no, that's shit. And I'll go back years later. I'm like, what was I thinking? I should have gave this a chance. Certainly that's apropos to Garbage, because right around this Bleed Like Me time is where I dipped out, because I gave that a quick listen and I'm like, this is not what I wanted, especially after Beautiful Garbage. But then come to find out later, if you just sit and listen and you got some headphones, really is essential. Sadly, I judged too quickly. That's why I'm excited to go past that when they reunite, because after Bleed Like Me, they break up and they don't really surface again until 2012. And I'm excited to hear, because I haven't heard any of it. I only heard one song, well, Later. Wasn't happy about that. I think no radio is hot for Duran Duran now, but audiences find Duran. Yeah, I don't know how they find it. It must be word of mouth. Radio, I mean, I couldn't even tell you. I have Sirius satellite radio, and I don't even listen to it. So I'm not really catching any of the new songs that I hear. It's because I'm with Sarah and she's listening to that channel. Oh, excuse me. So I wouldn't even hear that stuff. but some of it you can't escape. But I mean, they got Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they were certainly getting a lot of press and doing